Hi guys. Okay, you may have seen this collaged phone book a long time ago in a previous video. If you didn't see that, I'll put the link to that below. Actually, it's just a flip through, which you'll probably see now anyway. But all it is, I took a phone book and I had it to the side of my desk, and at the end of each day, any little scraps, no matter what the size, I glued them in. And I did that on and off over the course of about a year. And I ended up filling this whole phone book with scraps. And it didn't matter what it was. I just glued it in to get rid of it. I was trying to keep the scraps on my desk at bay. Anyway, it's almost full. I have used some pages out of it. I think there's a couple of pages, yeah, that aren't finished. Anyway, it's a good way to keep your desk scrap free at the end of each day. Just glue it in. Doesn't matter the size or what it is. You'll see all sorts of rubbish in here, like that's a bit of magazine page. But anyway, I thought I would use some of these pages today for part of a hop. I've been tagged by Carrie at the Paper Monkey, and she's participating in the hop that's been hosted by Angela at the Traveling Crafter, and it's hashtag GiveAScrap, and it's basically just use your scraps, which this is. So these were all scraps glued down, so I thought I would use these pages and some other scraps to make some little notebooks. Now, Angela's hop, there's a video each day of the month throughout April, and then each of those people are tagging someone, and then they'll do a video and tag someone, and on it goes. So Carrie from the Paper Monkey, she has tagged me, and I will be tagging Kirsten over at Penny Rose Journals, because I know, like me, she's got lots of scraps. Okay, I will put all the participants of the April hop down in the comments box below, along with Angela and Carrie's links to their videos, and you can go and check out everyone's channels. Lots of recycle ideas. Okay, I'm just going to do something super basic and easy, because, you know, that's the kind of project I like. And I'm going to make some little notebooks out of these collaged pages. So I kind of mostly want neutrals. I know that's got pink in there, but I'll use that. I'll use that. I'm going to make a few, but I won't do them all on camera because, you know, that's going to be way too boring for you. So I'll make one or two on camera, and then I'll go off and work on my own and come back and show you the finished projects. Should I use this one? Yeah, why not? Okay, I'm just going to pull out a couple. I will probably make more than I pull out, because I do want to use up this phone book now. So I've filled it with scraps. Now it's time to use the completed pages. Okay, so here's a couple. Which one do I want to start with? I'll start with this one because it's fairly neutral. Oh, they all kind of are. Okay, now I'm thinking I'm just going to make these super quick and easy little notebooks. Actually, let me do a couple at the same time. Oh, this one's already folded. I must have I'm going to use it for something at some stage. Yeah, I think this is a great little hop. Use your scraps. We've all got them. You know, I've just finished my use it till it's gone challenge for myself, where I took a tray of tiny little scrap papers and I just kept making things out of it until it was all gone. And the last video where I finally emptied it was actually that was the last video, a couple of days ago. Now some of these, I know at the time I was gluing the bits on with whatever glue I happened to be working with at the time. So some are PVA, some are glue stick. The PVA along the fold line may crack, but that's okay. For those, I'll just put a little bit of fabric or something. Okay, let's trim these babies. Just going to trim them down because not all of them are right to the edge of the phone book, or some have gone over. Okay. Now, of course, these little scraps, you may think I'm going to toss these. You would be wrong. I reuse every little stupid scrap. That's how I ended up with that huge pile of tiny little scraps in that scrap tray that I just finished using up. If you're new to my channel, just I'll put the link to that playlist for Use It Till It's Gone down below as well. So it was actually really fun trying to use up those itty bitty scraps. Now I'm tempted to leave the inside of these with the phone book, but they're quite flimsy, so I think I will yeah, I think I will line them with some more scraps. Okay, that'll be my front. Let's move these guys aside. Yeah, I think I'll line them with more scraps. Okay. I've got this never-ending supply of scraps, don't worry. These are little offcuts where I've cut pictures out of encyclopedias. So these are the little text pieces that are left over. So I may just use some of those. This edge is a bit lumpy from the glue. Let me get rid of that. What else? What other papers have I got in here? Got a bit of a map. I feel like I've got no space on my desk as usual to work. Let me move that over. Alrighty, I'm just going to line a couple of these with some scrap paper. Does that bug me being upside down? It will. I might put it that side. Yeah, so when I cut pictures out of encyclopedias and all that, I keep all those little offcuts, and then try and use them up. It just means you've got this never-ending pile of scraps to use up. But that's okay. I think that's the main thing that I work with, actually, scraps. Now, I may sew these little notebooks, I think, at the end. Well, they're not notebooks. They're just, I suppose they are, but they're just going to be little booklets to pop into junk journals. So I won't make them too fat. Keep them nice and thin. At the time I was collaging my phone book, I didn't collage both sides of the phone book because, yeah, I didn't know what I would do with it at the time. So I left it pretty, I left it one-sided, sorry. Just looking for more scraps on my desk. Of course, the never-ending scraps. No, I don't want to put that there. What else have I got? Okay, this was just some stamped encyclopedia or something. Actually, it's probably best to glue the inside and then trim it. Otherwise, you're forever trying to, you know, line everything up. Just put a little piece of this. Now you'll see, since my emptying of my scrap paper tray, my use it till it's gone challenge, I have this little pile of scraps that is kind of building up over there on my desk, which I will try and use up some of it in this challenge. Okay. Let me just give that a trim. Yeah, see, line, if you're doing something like this, line it first and then trim it so you don't have to re-trim like me. Now I'll trim it wonky. Okay. Oops. Oh my gosh, I'm dropping everything. My fingers are so cold. It's so chilly this morning. Yes, winter is here at last. I love winter. I'm so glad summer's over. Well, we're in autumn, but you know what I mean. Okay. Should I round the corners? I kind of want to round the corners, but then that'll slow me down sewing, won't it? Because I'll be sewing a whole bunch at once. No, that'll do. I'll leave them square. I may round some of the corners on some later. Okay, so that's my little notebook. And on top, what will I put on top? Stella, if you're watching, I'm sorry. A friend, Stella, and I were just having a conversation yesterday talking about not being prepared when you make something on video. And that's me. I just wing it. As I go, I wing it. Okay, I think I'm just going, because this is kind of vintagey looking. They're all neutrals. Actually, let me just ink the edges up a bit. This is a really old ink that a friend gave me ages ago. Cappuccino. It's quite dry, but it's not too dark, which I like. You know, when I do vintage photo, I get so a bit overexcited and I'm so heavy-handed on everything. Okay. Oop, there I go. Can't help myself. Let's get rid of this. Now your glue drop pages. Yes, of course, you'll keep these as well. I've got enough rectangle ones, so I'm folding these long ways now to make some tags out of these later. Keep those. Okay, now on these, I think I'm just going to be boring and put some pictures from encyclopedias. Oh, actually, I do have a pile of these that I was pulling out of encyclopedias the other day. These historical men, or as Kirsten likes to call them, grumpy men. Yes, okay. I was given this old set of encyclopedias. I have a zillion of these. I've saved a few from curbside cleanups. My little sister gave me some. My room is full of old encyclopedias. You know, the op shops don't take them anymore. They throw them out mostly, so it's good to rescue them. I'm going to use this guy because I'm too lazy to cut a circle. Oh, what's this guy's name? Johann Christoph Friedrich. I might put the little blurb on here. Okay, it just says this was apparently a painting, and it just says who painted and when and all that little info. How about we put that on there? Oops. Didn't cut that very straight. All that. Oh my gosh. It's like Barbie's hair. Keep trimming, and there's nothing left. That'll do. Leave it, leave it. I don't want to put layers of stuff because these are to pop into pockets of journals and it gets too fat. Maybe, oh, what year was this? Maybe I'll put the year. Oh gosh, I'm too blind. I think it says 1820. Okay, let me get a stamp. All right, I've got this giant number stamp. It's so cool. Looks pretty old. I picked this up at a little, I think it was like a flea market or a little fete or something years ago for, I don't know, $2 or $3. Can't remember, but it was super cheap. So, or was it reverse garbage? A recycle center? I can't remember, but yeah, picked it up somewhere. It was super cheap. Oh gosh, what did I say? 1820. It was super cheap, so I grabbed it. The only thing is, it hurts your fingers to turn the dial. Okay, I'm going to stamp it 1820. Okay, 10 years later, these little things hurt your fingers. Okay, I might just stamp it. Let's put that there, hey? I'm going to use Blazing Red. This was given to me by a friend. I've not used it much. Oh yeah. That looks kind of cute. Just so we get some colour on there. How cool is this big number stamp? I just love it. Alright, where's my glue stick on? And might just put that there. I'm going to put the little blurb on there. Oh no, did I glue that the right way? Oh yeah. Let's just whack that on there. Need a new glue stick. Okay. That's kind of cute. Now I just need to fill the little pages. And I think I'm just going to fill the little pages with brown paper bags because I honestly have a squillion of them lying around. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Oh, I didn't do a good job of pulling that handle off, did I? Oh. Okay, these handles, yes, you must keep them as well. I've been unraveling them, but I'm going to try and come up with a project that I don't need to unravel them because It really annoys me unraveling them. I probably have unraveled about 50 handles in the past week. I've been reorganizing my craft room. Keep the docket, of course, keep everything. I've been reorganizing my craft room the past week, and I found about 3 bags of paper bag handles. It's so ridiculous. Okay. I'm going to just quickly snip this. Okay, you probably don't want to see me chop up a paper bag. I'm going to quickly chop some pages down to size. Now, I don't want them too thick. I might put 4 pieces of paper in there. Now, this one is where there was a hole ripped from when I tore the handle off. And that's okay. We're just going to patch it up. Actually, let's patch it up with a different colour paper. I've got a bit of coffee dyed shopping docket or shopping cash register receipt. Oh, that side looks really nice though, doesn't it? Let's just glue this guy down. Oh, okay. I just glued on the side I wanted up. That's okay. The other side's nice and grungy anyway. We'll do it on the back. Okay, that's our little signatures. Now, I was thinking of putting a bit of fabric down the spine, but I don't want to bother pulling out any fabric. So I think I'm just going to put some brown paper to reinforce it a little. All right, now I'm going to just let this dry and then we'll sew in the signature. Yeah, I think I might sew it. You don't have to sew yours, but I kind of like to sew everything. Should I sew it? I will. Okay, so I've done a zigzag stitch down its little spine and a straight stitch all the way around. Now I'm going to sew these in. I did consider stapling them, but I think I will sew them in. So I'm just going to do a little basic 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Because it's just one little tiny signature and it's not a full journal, there's no need to be 100% accurate. I'm not doing any templates. Look, I don't even do templates for my big journals, but no templates, no nothing, just line up your papers and poke holes. Now, I'll just let you know, so that I'm keeping in line with using scraps, because so far everything here is recycled. So even my thread, well, that was from Reverse Garbage, which is a recycle centre here in Australia. So I did buy it, but I bought it from a recycle centre at least. But everything else, all the papers, they're all scraps. The encyclopedias were rescued from a curbside cleanup, and brown shopping bags. I guess the only thing that isn't recycled was the ink, but that was given to me. Okay, so for the thread, I will also use some recycled thread. Now, I've got this little bag of stupid threads that I just keep on the side of my desk. And what these are, my sister years ago, she's a bit of a scavenger as well, and she found in a curbside cleanup this giant big garbage bag full of Hawaiian leis, you know, with the flowers on them, the fake flowers. Anyway, they were all new in their individual plastic bags, and so she thought I could use them, and she brought them home for me. So I sat there one night chopping them all up and separating the flowers out, and all the threads, all the strings that held them together, I kept. And it's pretty strong string, like I can't break it. So I've just been using it for little, you know, sewing little fabric flowers and clusters and stuff like that. So I will use some of these threads, scrap threads, to sew in my signatures. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball it around the center. This, look, most of you probably made journals before or seen journals made. You could probably get proper bookmaking tools for this, but mine is just a carpenter's awl, AWL. And I'm just going to eyeball it, poke a hole in the center. The only thing, if you use a carpenter's awl, it's a bit big. Yeah, I probably should find something a bit more narrow. But if you don't poke it too far up, see, it gets wider the further you go down. So if you don't poke it too far through, your hole won't be too big. Sorry, I normally do this really close under my nose because I'm so blind, but then I'll be off camera. Usually when I poke the first hole, I put my needle through so that if the papers, the papers don't move. Okay, about there. I'm not going to be too precious. Actually, I don't think I've ever sewn a signature on camera before. And the reason I haven't is, like I said, I'm a bit too blind. I need to do it right up under my nose, as you can see. For the needle, I'm just using a tapestry needle because, you know, it's not sharp and it doesn't get caught on the papers or anything like that. Now, with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, I know a lot of people here, I've gone in there. A lot of people go up to there and then back in this hole. I don't actually do that because I don't like one long string. if you know what I mean. So I actually will go back through here, and this is why I don't do it on camera, because I really cannot see. But I will go back through this hole, and just be careful not to push your needle through your thread that's already in there. So I'll go back out that hole and then back in this hole. Now for big journals, I just do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. But this little one, it's fine to do a 3-hole. Now, I've lost my thread because this thread's small, but I just go under that existing one, tighten it a bit. And then just do a couple of knots. Now, if this thread were longer, I probably would have left the thread hanging on the outside, on the spine. Okay. But it's quite short, so I'll put it on the inside and chop it. Okay, and there we have our little completely scrap made little notebooks. And the good thing is they're nice and thin. That coffee dyed cash register receipt turned out so nice. Look at that, so grungy. Kind of want to stamp a mushroom on it. The good thing as well, they're nice and thin, so you can pop them in pockets of your journals, which is what I'll do. Okay, so here's a few more that I made. And a few more, and just a few more. I think I ended up making 25 or 26. Now, I didn't keep them all that same format as when I started, with just picture stamp and the little blurb. Let's have a look at a few. Okay. This is one. You'll see. Actually, this one I did add that little piece. Most of them I've left just as is. I even love the collaged insides. I had lots of scraps to use up. Some old envelopes. Some of them I've popped in one of the pages from the encyclopedias that I cut these out of. So, you know, the page at the beginning of the encyclopedia, there's a blank page usually. You can see it's all aged. So I've used some of those. And where there were those little tear marks or glue marks, you know, when you pull the paper bag handle up, I've just covered it with more scraps. So I got rid of lots and lots of scraps. Let me just move these aside so I can, okay, that's the one that we made. So I can show you. So some of them, this little booklet, it already had a butterfly stamped on that piece of book page from my collage phone book. So I just left it there, and I've popped on this. Someone sent me that in a Happy Mail. It's a bit glossy, but it's like a picture of an old envelope. And I've just left it as is. I really, really love you know, how they came out. They feel nice. They're nice and thin, easy to pop in pockets. Oh, also, I started stitching them with dark brown thread on top, and in my bobbin on the back I had some light pink thread. When that ran out, I popped in some dark brown thread as well. I added this little bit. That was a bit of a peeled box, peeled cardboard box on my desk, bit of a barcode. Just pop that on there to get rid of it. Some of them you can see I've used, you know, big paper scraps, almost whole pages. These were coffee dyed cash register receipts. Front page of the encyclopedia. It doesn't matter because when they're collaged down, they just look really nice. This one, I think I added that piece of paper on top. I can't remember what was underneath, but it looked a little bit ugly. This one I might add something more. I don't know. I've got some little fish pictures or something there that I might, you know, add one. But you can just keep adding to them when you go to use them in your journal. You can use, you know, your paint wipe off pages. It just doesn't matter. Whatever scraps you want. I also used up a lot of the encyclopedia pages that just had blank text as well. This one, that's a bit of the inside of a security envelope. Just use them all up. Some I've put bigger pieces of blank paper, plus smaller pieces, just to cover up the logo on the brown paper bag. You know, it says Coles Supermarket or Woolworths or something. See, this one I might add something to it. This one I'll probably add something as well. It's a bit plain, just got a lot of book page. Old maths book. I just love them. And when you collage with scraps, it really doesn't matter what is on that piece of paper. You know, this one has a, you know, picture of a skeleton. Doesn't matter. Just use it. Once it's got all those little bits glued down, you know, they all look really nice anyway. And more. See, this is a picture that you wouldn't, what would you use it for in a journal? So, but you know, for little scrappy notebooks like this, it looks quite good. There's some more of that skeleton. This is the little flyer that comes in a medicine box. See, some were a little bit colourful, but I don't mind. I just went on ahead with it. So lots of scraps. Look, even little bits of blank ones to cover up the logo on the shopping bags. Anyway, you get the idea. Scraps, lots of scraps. Oh, if you pull apart old encyclopedias, you'll have a lot of these pictures that, you wouldn't, they're not nice pictures. You really don't want them to be journal cards or tags or anything. But I mean, when you collage with scraps like this, just use them, use them on the inside covers or little pieces on the outside covers. This is the bit off a sticker. When you peel a sticker up and there's the little bit left over. That's the leftover. It was wrapped around, but I put a bit of book page on top because it didn't look right. But for the most part, I've left the collage phone book pages as they are. This one's a bit plain. I'll probably, when I go to use it, add something more to it. Same with this one. And this is the last pile. As you can see, I got sick of stamping the year on it because it's really hard to turn the dial on that stamp. And yeah, I got sick of doing it. But I suppose this way I can add whatever I want later as well. Oh, it was great using up lots of brown paper bag scraps, and I also pulled a bunch apart to use in here. I've got so many brown paper bags. It's just so good to get rid of them. See, this is not such a nice picture, but who cares? Put it on the inside cover and it looks quite good when it's scrappy. They're just a really good way to get rid of any scrap paper. More envelope. See, this is something I wouldn't usually like to use, but if it's on the inside cover, I don't mind. This was an old note that I found in a book while pulling it apart. The writing's a bit ugly, but doesn't matter. Pop it on. Looks like it might have been a sewing book or something. This is a government application form or something like that. I like these ones with just brown paper and book page. Ooh, this one had some bright yellow paper on it, which I did rub some vintage photo ink over it to tone it down. And it's still so bright. So I just went with it. That's a nice picture. Anyway, that's my bundle of notebooks. Kind of the same, but all very different. I really love how they turn out, and it was just so good to be able to use up some of those collage phone books and lots and lots of scraps. Yeah, pop over to Carrie, the paper monkey, and also Angela, the traveling crafter, who hosted the hop throughout April. I'll also tag the other channels that participated in the hop. So if you want to just, click on the 1st of April's video, watch that, and then go through the whole month of April. So lots of scrappy videos, give you lots of ideas and inspiration. And also you can view everyone else that has been tagged as well. So not just the people in the hop, but the people that were tagged by the people in the hop. and you can view all of those videos by clicking the GiveAScrap hop hashtag. All of that is in the comments box below, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.